strange sort of world where we're the early adopters still, even though AI seems it's everywhere. I think that a lot of people are using AI passively, but probably a very small percentage of the population is using AI actively and like trying to use it to build themselves up or improve their business in a smart and intelligent way. What I'll tell you is, like, if you're looking to, I guess, generate content, right? Like, there is a lot of ways AI can help you with generating content, either from GPT helping you write scripts or blog posts or things like that, and then things like HeyGen, which can take those scripts and have an avatar speak them out. And we do have N8N workflows that are on our N8N section of our classroom that will show you how to do just that, and basically automate the whole process for you.
Yeah. So the AI agent, I like that. I like that angle of creating content, but not me as a person sitting there talking, but I can create my own avatar.
Yeah.
And I think if there is a niche to answer your question, that might be the one that I like.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay. Let's see. We also. Now, I was going to say Barry Williams is new, but that's just Barry Williams' Loom. So he's Burn might be new. If you are new, Burn, throw something in the chat. Bill, maybe, although I can't tell. I feel like if I saw your icon or your avatar, I would know better. If you're new, turn on your mic. Oh, maybe I recognize you, Phil. I can't tell. We do have the same haircut though, so maybe I just saw you at the barber. And if you're new and you want to turn on your mic or throw something in the chat to say hello, what you're looking for, you can go ahead. An awkward pause.
Hey, yeah, I just joined, so just soaking all whole pile of stuff up right now. Yeah, I'll probably have more questions once I start going through some of the courses, but looks like lots to soak up.
Yep. Cool. Ian, good to see you. We're LinkedIn buddies now. I'm seeing some of your posts. I just saw one that I really feel like is you using an AI avatar to do a video. Yeah. I was gonna say your skin looked incredible in that video, and I was like, "Who's doing your skin routine?" And I was like, "No, maybe that's just AI giving you that glassy AI look." Okay, so today we're going to mix the AI news with what we're doing today, because big news. What was the big news yesterday in the AI world? AgentKit, right? So OpenAI releases AgentKit. This is, I guess, Dev Day is what they called it. So big, I guess, week or 7 days for OpenAI, right? They do Sora 2, which is making waves. I think with Sora, with any of the video generators, it's always easy for them to get good promotion out of it because people just make a bunch of crazy videos with them. I don't know if this is a Sora 2 thing, but one of the recent ones I saw was the people are generating videos of the police pulling over cartoon characters. So like SpongeBob is speeding and the police pull them over. So Sora 2 was last week. Sora 2 already old news, right? Now we're moving on to AgentKit. And so AgentKit, you might have seen this on your LinkedIn timeline or Google Trends or wherever you're getting your info. I had seen somebody who was saying that, like yesterday, that OpenAI was probably going to release an agent builder. And I was like, oh, okay, I mean, maybe they're going to be right. And then yesterday afternoon, I see on my timeline, OpenAI puts N8N and Make and all these other agent builders out of business and destroys thousands of startups with their agent platform. I don't think that's true at all. I think that so we're going to see that today. I think that after we take a stroll through Agent Builder, I think you'll all agree that it's maybe one day AgentKit becomes the dominant agent building platform out there. I think that, of course, OpenAI has such a big market share in the AI space and has just like that brand recognition that they have a leg up on everybody. I do think that for for certain use cases, it is probably really good and going to be very useful. In no way is it currently ready to just completely upend and 8N, and we'll see that today. But we will play around with it a little bit, and then I am going to show you a technique and give you some of the materials that I used yesterday to build my own really quick AgentKit agentic system. Because it is new, right? We're talking about something that is less than 24 hours, I think, at this point, for public consumption. Being able to build on it and get good documentation and tutorials and things like that is tough. But we always have our old friends, Claude and GPT, to help us. You would think that like as soon as OpenAI released something like AgentKit, they would like update GPT to be able to help you with it. I don't think they do. It really seems to, GPT does not seem to have much understanding of its own platform, which is interesting. However, I'm going to show you what I did. It took me a little bit to figure this out. But I do think it can be helpful. And then let me just check, what do we have? And I got my developer, OpenAI. Awesome. They are warming up for the 16 days of OpenAI to the end of the year. The 16 days of OpenAI. What is that? Sora 1 was a total fail. Sora 2 is opening a new marketing platform. AgentKit is probably heading that way. Yeah. And then what do we have here? OpenAI Academy, OpenAI Agents SDK. Yeah, Academy. Okay, yes. Remove fireflies. Sure. Okay, and then for anybody who's new, I am Dr. Jeff, PhD in neuroscience with an AI and computer vision thesis. If you've been here before, you've heard the same spiel. When I originally graduated, nobody cared about AI, and they really didn't care about computer vision. And so I went and I was building websites, doing SEO work, data analytics, and then that led to doing video production and post-production, working with marketing and sales and operations teams for startups. And then I eventually came back around to AI and started doing machine learning and computer vision and NLP projects. But then ChatGPT changed the game for me, just like everybody else. Generative AI and AI in general got just completely put on the map. And now I work on mostly RAG LLM systems, graph RAG systems, agentic workflows, image and video generation pipelines, and then work with companies to upskill and consult on their projects, upskill their workers and consult on their AI projects, trying to keep them from having one of the 95% of the AI projects that don't provide an ROI. 16 Days of OpenAI is a play on 16 Days of Christmas song. Oh, okay. We had it last year, Q4, 16 Days of Open, where they introduced. Oh, interesting. Okay. I was not aware of that. I didn't know that it was a 16-day thing. So they do one release every day for 16 days? I guess there was probably other releases that were, you would have thought that they would have bundled GPT-5 with that then. They could have done GPT-5, Sora 2, 16 days, a lot. Interesting. Okay, so I did not know that we were in the 16 days of OpenAI, but I guess we are. So Agent Builder and AgentKit. It takes a little bit of finagling to get there, but here, I don't think you need a pro account to get there, but I just threw the link in the chat, and that will get you to the Agent Builder platform. I will share my screen, and we will take a look. Okay, and so like any great platform, they give you some templates to work with. Here are 6, that's good counting. Data enrichment, planning helper, customer service, structured data QA, document comparison, internal knowledge assistant. Now, something that you may notice really quickly off the bat, when I kept on saying, or not that I kept on saying, but I definitely made the point that this is not going to destroy or upend N8N immediately. You may notice something about all 6 of these projects. They are very text-based, right? Like these are very text-based projects, right? There is functionality to add other sort of services in here, but just right off the bat, there's a lot of text-based stuff in here. And I think that that's part of the reason, again, like they're going to expand this. And then there are ways, I think, to integrate other services in here by doing custom things, but initially this is very, very text-based, and there is no, and you'll see this here. We'll go to the data enrichment one. So it's a pretty simple workflow, but it'll get you going. And like, look, like this is all that we really have right now. And so you can add an agent, an end node, or a note. These are the notes. There's file search, guardrails, and MCP. And MCP does allow you to do a bunch of different things. I mean, file search is sort of useful, but this is pretty limited right now. And then you can even see, I'm going to click on this agent. We'll go to more. You know, we can give instructions to the agent. You can go up here, you'll name your agent. Including chat history is really necessary for the way this works. There are tools, right? So you can add tools. There's an MCP server tool, which again, like is pretty useful. File search, web search, code interpreter, right? So not a lot going on here yet. You can then connect this to other, you know, using the function in the custom, you can start to build out other types of tools. Maybe that'll be something that we get into later. But if you think of like N8N and the nodes that's available there, the already built-in custom nodes that you have, or even just like the HTTP node and the way that's set up, this does not have the functionality in any way, shape, or form that N8N has. But, and we'll see this as we go through this, I do think that its agenticness is better. Like sort of its core ability to do agentic reasoning and to work with text. I think that if you have a purely text-based project, this might be better for you. And it does have, I think it's called ChatKit or something like that. There are pretty easy ways for you to integrate this into a website. And that might be another thing that we would do later as well, is maybe when it comes out with more functionality, or even I would, maybe I'll play around with seeing if I can get some additional functionality out of these tools. It's tough, again, because I think the MCP server and the function tool, yeah, you could potentially get a lot out of this and do a lot with it, which is great, but it's not really native, right? Or they don't just have nodes for you to drop in here. And maybe this is how it's always going to be. I do think that they are going to need to add more usability to this. But here, we'll just really quickly go through, I don't want to, let's do less. Do I have to click on some? We'll just go to preview. And so, so this was, you know, it'll do a simple workflow, research a set of companies using web search and provide a summary analysis. So let's do a couple of bigger companies. Analyze, let's say, Google, Facebook, and X.com. Right, 3 major platforms. Oh, well, we'll throw in Reddit too. Yeah, let's do this. And let's see what we get. So we got our web research agent going. This is always the most fun here. Let me click back and just really quick see. Oh, no, here it goes. So it's got Google. It's got Meta. Oh, yeah, Meta, not Facebook. Twitter. So it told me I could do, I guess, it's only doing one at a time. What does it say? Research a set of companies. And then it's producing this. Okay. Let me see what the summarize and display agent says. Oh, I have to close the preview. Put the research together in a nice display using the output format described. Here, let me try another one. And this time we will just do analyze X.com. Choose one of the other ones. Okay. Yeah, figured it out. So it is using and it's showing you the reasoning. And then, you know, it's got this information for you. It's kind of cool. And, you know, hey, only took a few nodes. The logic in it feels pretty easy. Like, I mean, these nodes are pretty easy to set up here. Let me just show you. You know, this is a fairly basic prompt. You know, it's using GPT-5. It's not, you can change your reasoning here, minimal, medium, high. Again, we can do tools. Output format is JSON. So then I guess it's, okay, and then it's using this to structure the data. right, that it's passing on to the next one that is doing the summarizing and displaying. Then you could, again, like change your verbosity, your summary. But this is, again, like, there's only so much, and this is all very much built around text, right? And agents are very text in general, but like even in, again, like if you look at, and I'm gonna have to delete this, you know, it doesn't really matter. I haven't done anything to it. You know, this is a very, very text-based solution so far. Oh, hold on. And there's this, like, once you have one in here, then it won't show you the templates anymore. So I have to go ahead and I have to delete it. I want to delete this workflow. Delete. Let me see this one. Check if necessary data is provided. If any data is missing, ask the user, provide a plan to ask follow-up questions. I don't know about that one. Let me see. And they also, again, like, there aren't really docs for this, right? So I guess we could take a look and see what happens. But sometimes these just don't do anything. And it's like, well, what was I supposed to do here? I want data on, oh, I think I'm supposed to provide a document. Let's get back to this one, actually, just for a specific reason. So I do have something we could possibly use. Well, actually here, let's maybe try that. Okay, so because I'm going to show this next, which is, I'm not going to share this document with you. I wanted help building these agentic workflows. You know, going through the docs is kind of difficult. There is very little information online for these. Somebody might have a tutorial up, but when I was looking at it, I mean, it was brand new. So let's try one of the documents. Okay. I'm wondering, let's see if this even works even remotely. If this has information on how to get oops, spelled system wrong. Okay, God only knows how that one actually works. Like, I know I'm supposed to provide information. You know, you're an assistant that gathers the key details and create a business initiative plan. Oh, it's for business initiative plan. Okay, has all details, initiative goals. So I guess I need to give it a business plan. I don't know. Again, you can mess around with these a little bit more. Was there one that I used that was actually any good? The first one I know provides information. Some of these, again, like you're supposed to provide it with something, and then oh, I think the customer service one does work kind of. Let's see. My item is broken. And I return it. So this is a return agent. And I mean, I do think that you would need to connect this to some form of a database to know, you know, what the order details are and user approval. Does this work for you? Reject. Let's see what happens. And that's it. Right. What else can I help you with? Not that cool. But you do get a sense of here. They have these jailbait guardrails. They have these conditionals, right? So that it can go to return agent, retention agent, information. So it can tell what I'm asking for. And then it goes to these different agents, or it can end. Then it gets user approval and it ends either way. But you could add more behaviors in here. Cool, right? So let's say we want to build our own, right? That sounds like fun. Let's create our own workflow. And so then they all just start with this start. Typically, so it has this input as text. As far as I think most of the templates you'll see will just start with this. Maybe eventually they'll have more functionality and you can do more with it. But let's have our buddy Claude help out. And so you can see I was messing around with it already. Here's my project. So again, Claude and GPT have no idea how this system works. So first, what I did was I went through the AgentKit docs and copied and pasted them all into a document, which is this guy. And let me see, can I? Nope, I might try to. All right, when we have a little bit of downtime, I'm going to throw that in my Google Drive and then share a link to it so that everybody has it if they want. But now it has these AgentKit docs. And so this should help it figure out what to do when I want to build something. And here, we'll start with this way. I would like to test out the AgentKit builder platform. I've included the docs from OpenAI. Give me some interesting projects we built with it. Let's see if it gives me, there's one I have in mind that I've already tried out that works-ish. So let's see if if it will suggest one of those. This is a good idea, you know, like when you're trying out a new platform. And then mine is that's pretty cool. And then they have the customer support triage one that it just showed us. Creative content generation takes a brief or topic input, uses one agent to research the topic, another agent generates initial content idea. Okay, so these are some ideas that it has. And medical research synthesizer, personal learning path creator, assess student knowledge with an initial agent. Interesting. Creates customized lesson plans based on skill gaps. Uses file search to pull from educational resources. Generates practice problems with code interpreter. And so as you can see, these are very text-based, but let's do, so I've been really on this idea. Let's do the creative content generation suite. And I'm going to set a timer because just an FYI, there's a good chance this isn't going to go right. That's always true, but I actually know that this is not possibly going to go right, just to show you a solution for it later. So let's try this one. Oh yeah, here, and then give me the steps to set up the notes. Okay, start research agent, content ideation agent. Okay, so it's telling me to have these input variables and the state variables, right? And here we go. All right, so then I'm going to start, right? So let's get our start node going. And so it has all of these input variables. But I can't really add more input variables. I guess this is me, my little acting aspects. I know that I can't do it, new input variables, but it's telling me I can, right? So I should let it know, hey, the start node only has one input variable, and you can't add more, but you can add state variables. Okay, and so now it's giving me a whole bunch of state variables. And then it has these instructions where it sets things up and it has user input and it has input as text. So it's going to bring in the input as text. And here, I'll turn off my timer. We can cut to the chase because this isn't going to work at all. I'll just give you a heads up. So this idea of using the input as text like this isn't going to fly. And you know, none of this other stuff is going to work. And so what do we do? Because this is a brand new platform, and I'm asking this LLM for help, and it's telling me to do all these things that don't make sense. So what did I do? I delete this. I gotta delete it first, and I'll give everybody the option of doing this. What is this? Oh, that's the one that they had. Okay, I went in here, and so just like N8N, right? So like our N8N projects are JSON files. These are also code, and you could ask it to just do these in code. I haven't done that yet. Maybe we towards the end we'll see how that applies. Is to have it do the code, but what I did was I copied this, and then let's go. What are you doing? Well, I copied it, and then I guess it didn't do anything. And then I did that for all of the templates it had, right? And then I pasted them into a document. So let's get out of here. And so this is the sample node code. So this is the 6 different sample document, the 6 different sample projects they had, and this is the code for them. Okay, so I want to build an agentic node system with AgentKit builder. I've included docs from OpenAI as well as examples of the code that is used to use the nodes and set them up. Give me step-by-step instructions on how to set up nodes for a agentic system that uses web search to research a topic, and then uses another agent to generate a blogger. Use the sample node code as a reference on the actual capabilities. So this is probably still going to go slightly terrible. However, it is, from my experience, better than previously. It's interesting because even though the LLM has access to those docs, which are the docs provided by OpenAI or any of these companies, when they provide docs, they're not very good. They are written by people who I feel like are doing them just because they have to, and at no point are they thinking about the end user and what that person actually wants to know. And so those are very non-useful. However, when you actually give it examples of the code from the nodes, that gives it a much better understanding of how the whole system works. And by doing that, you then are able to leverage and get nodes that are, it's not going to be perfect, I will tell you that much, but initially it was doing, it was telling me to use those variables in the instructions, and that's not right. You'll see when we build our own agent system right now, that's not going to work. It's not going to do it that way. And it was setting up all these state variables. We're not going to do that either. And so this should give us a much more streamlined and faster way of starting to build agents. And then as you saw, these are currently very text-based. There are solutions and things that we can do to add, image generation to this, but it doesn't natively just have image generation. And so, it is a cool framework it's like a Christmas tree with complicated Christmas ornaments on it, right? Where it's okay, it's really easy. It's what is it? It's like those pre-built plastic Christmas trees, but then you have to hand paint all the ornaments that you put on it. Something like that, I guess, because the basis of it, that agentic aspect, is very easy to set up. But then if you want anything cool with it, you are going to have to provide code and code-based nodes as tools for it to use, tying it into Zapier MCP server, which gave them access. Right. And so, yes, so there is a way, of course, to start to include MCP server stuff into it and open this up. And so maybe that is sort of the future, is that it has this really easy to set up backbone, and then maybe they're allowing other people to do the functionality, and then you just connect to that MCP server. But it does, again, it is not natively inherently with just what it gives you very easy to use, but possibly the MCP server is going to be the big solution. And again, this stuff is pretty new, and so it's a little bit rough going. Okay, navigate to Agent Builder. Boom. Okay, drag a start node. Okay, click on the start node to configure it, set it to accept user input with input as text. That's always happens. We'll capture the topic the user wants. All right, we got an agent node, and we're going to rename it. So let's get going here. So we're going to create one, web search. So here, we're going to start moving a little bit faster now. GPT-5 or GPT-5 mini. I want lower costs, don't we all? GPT-5 mini. Your helpful research assistant. So as you can see here, it's not using the input variable in that same way at all. And then what else? Web search tool. I need to enable that. Tools. Web search. I don't need to do any of these things if I don't want to. Let me see, is there anything else I need to do? Reasoning effort, and enables true to conversation. All right, we don't need to do this transform node from what I found. It's not really as necessary. Okay, add, and then reasoning effort, what did it say? I don't want it. Low, and then store is true. Okay, cool. And that's that node. And then I need another one. Transform, create a blog writer agent node, right? So blog article generator. And we're going to connect. This will be and then we will give it instructions. We'll do GPT-5 for this one, not mini. GPT-5 and medium or low. Ooh, temperature. I don't even think, see, right, I can change this to medium. Doesn't even have a temperature, right? So even though it was seeing all of these samples, it still doesn't get it. Configure, click on each node, share proper data passing. We don't need a guardrail node. Okay, and then boom, boom, boom. Let's preview. Just to be meta. And so you can see which node is working right now. And so it is searching the web, or search the web. So it is moving forward. I think that there is a way that I could put like human in the loop here and then make it so that I could make a choice what I want to do here. And then how's my generator? Here it goes. And it is crafting blog content. Of course, we get this hyphen in here. It loves hyphens. Boom. And once it's going, blog generator, right? Pretty quick. And you know, it has a very short prompt in here, but it's generating this blog. And you could see like it is using agentic reasoning. I think it's doing more reasoning than I am telling it to do at all. Like there is something in here that is making it more intelligent than typical. But that was pretty quick, you know, and now I have something that will generate a blog. Now as you can see, like, it's not really set up. Well, here, let me try one thing. Well, I guess this is the preview portion. And theoretically, like what you'd want it to do is generate a whole bunch automatically where you could feed in a bunch of different things. But I don't know if it is set up to do that, right? Like, so right now I have something that does not really pass the benchmark that I have set for things before, which is this better than just using ChatGPT? And theoretically, right now, like it's great that I was able to set up this agentic system. And I guess the purpose is that I could take this and I could put it on my own website, right? Or I could do whatever with it. But this is not better than ChatGPT, right? So why would somebody come to my website to use this? This again is like, you know, it's and maybe it is like, hey, like we need to start getting the MCP server functionality in here, and that's going to help out. Because like if it will do this and then generate images and then do a whole bunch of stuff, that's pretty cool. I might look into this make MCP server solution, because then you can do that and then start to use that as part of your agentic workflow. That's great, but even still, not sure. Okay, and then let's workflow ID, agent SDK, Python. Now let's see what happens. I'm going to ask it to generate Python code for this. Okay, actually, give me the Python code for the nodes. I will just copy and paste them into the code editor, similar to the templates in project. And here we go. All right, and so we'll see. Why am I going to restart with? Retry. What are you doing? All right, let's see if it'll crash again. Boom, boom, boom. But now, wow, why is it doing that? What is it telling me? Pause, normal, or save? All right, we're trying Sonnet 4. Maybe Opus is having a problem. Sonnet 4, not even 4.5. This isn't that big of a code. It's not that complex either. So Sonnet should be able to handle it. That switched me over to GPT 4.1. Jerks. Oh, because maybe they added another agent in here. Let's do this one, because this is the one we just did, right? This one only has the 2 agents. Let's see what happens. Actually, what I'm going to, no, Here. Let's just see. Will it actually let me change this? No, it won't. It'll only let me copy it. Which would suck, because then you can't actually just put your own great code. I can grab the code. I guess, okay, I understand now. So like you can grab the code so you can use it somewhere else, but they are not going to allow. Oh, okay. So it's not like, let me see, any other way to do this? Code now doesn't even let me delete from here. It's still a little buggy, or I am just misusing it probably. Yeah, can't really code with it. Okay, all right, so let's turn it here. I'm going to turn off my share. All right, what do people think? Anybody have any feedback, any ideas, any use cases, especially their lives? They didn't promote all that. Anybody have any ideas of what they'd want to see next? And go for it.
I have I have a query how can we integrate like LangChain, LangGraph, and all with that we can do the Python code and all those stuff. Yeah, we're using Cloud or any other
I
tool.
think they
Yeah.
have custom function nodes, which I think
Mhm.
is going to do it. And then theoretically, well, there is a way to use, I know you can use a vector database.
Mhm.
I've seen that functionality. So then there is that. But like partially, I think it is supposed to, you know, you're not theoretically going to need aspects of LangChain anymore, right? Because now it's chaining things together, right? Like
Mhm.
instead of you having to chain them together in code, it's now the chain, right? So here are, I'm going to share with everybody. So these are the docs that I used. So one of them is a set of docs of the AgentKit, their documentation that I copied and pasted from them. And then this other one is just the code from the sample nodes. Again, I feel like it's not going to be perfect if you use these, but if you use these for the project knowledge for your LLM, it'll be definitely a lot better than if you don't use anything in your project knowledge if you're trying to use Agent Builder. And then, if you find other good Agent Builder templates, again, just copy and paste the code out of them and then update that in your project knowledge. And then now your LLM interface is going to be smarter and better at building you AgentKit, agentic systems. But yeah, I do think that there are, I think that theoretically the functionality on this thing is because you can add the custom functions and you can connect MCP servers. So with that, then there is potentially a lot of flexibility and the ability to make these much more complex and interesting. But again, out of the box with just the nodes that they have, it is much more simpler than N8N. And if you're, it's not doing that much for you. I guess it does give you a visual interface to use, but if you're connecting MCP servers and you're creating custom functions, it's like, yeah, who is this really for, right? Because if you can code and you can code up your own custom functions, and you are able to, interact with MCP servers and do all these other things, then are you the target audience for a no-code agent builder platform?
So, Jeff, if you don't mind, can I share my screen for 2 minutes?
Go for it. You can share whatever you want. Well, not whatever you want, but yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So what I mean here is let me share my entire screen. Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, I can. I can see myself.
So one thing what I want to build is like a YouTube, one which I'm building actually. So which I build like YouTube analyzer, which you give any of your YouTube things, okay? It will give you how many tokens used and all the stuff and what exactly this about, and it gives the overall rating, whether it's a positive, negative, and then it will give like what technologies what has been discussed in this YouTube, okay, like whether they are relevant or not, because this is very important. Somebody will say, I don't want to waste my time there. Yeah, so I want to just see whether it's relevant to my subject. Okay, LangChain which I have to cover, and then it gives the detailed analysis which I have coded, right? Okay, I've integrated with, and then I have collected the samples also, rating, positive, negative, and everything. I give a overall thing what you get. But next thing what I'm doing is, I want to like, let me get this. Where is that? Sorry. So if you see here, one more thing, like this one, yeah. So I'm building one thing like a tool, deep research engine, yeah, where you can select any technology like like technology and what research you want to do. For example, so IT company is growing, and when you create deep research, it will give you the cost, like means okay, overall, like means how many tokens you have used from, means it goes to the YouTube purpose, many things it will use, and it will give the high ratings, like means okay, and some here summary other things need to come, like means I am just doing that, and it gives the insights and the source, like means from where you have collected all the information, and the stats, like means from whether overall rating, what it is like, and even it has the charge history. For example, if you have like means this, then if you go this will be different, like yeah, it have that different chart histories also you can look into, yeah. So see, it is now here, for example, you have this agent for this one, and this will be different like that, yeah. So it can back to that also. You can even download the PDF and see how that looks, and how that stats, and how that. So this is all open source, yeah, LangChain, LangGraph, and everything. It's not costing me like. So I like means also we have this which I showed YouTube, and so if anybody wants to do deep research in their area, they can start using like this, and they get a very detailed document on that. They don't no need to go to multiple places, and everything it will normalize like that. So what I mean here is like these type of things. If we build one system like this, and our this all, I'm thinking like N8 and other things are costing. So why can't, if we utilize properly the APIs and the Python and all the knowledge what we have, we can do many more in economical way, and still can address the functionality. But of course, you little bit required here the coding knowledge a little bit, like okay, if we have full stack. But I'm just wondering, like how can we economical MCP? Totally agree. Like API, we can integrate any MCP, no doubt, for our queries, all that, yeah. So I'm just wondering, what is your suggestion? Because some there I use Streamlit UI because that works integrated with Python. Some work with the JavaScript better. I want to club all those things with the links and create a combined server with which is economical here and economical, and which have less cost, and which gives a deep. Nobody need to again go and do all copy paste everything. PDF available. Just glance and learn. That's it. Like means whatever we do a deep, so much time we means consuming, everything will be available like that, yeah. So I'm just wondering, is this the right way? Like means whether we build like that, then we can host at one place and we can scale, or do you have any view like means we can integrate with MCPs, and because some direct APIs like YouTube directly they give more clarity there, whether we need an MCP layer at the places, or we use our prompts in a better way to get. What is your suggestion here?
Well, I mean, well, so if you already built yours, right, then it is already built. And then, as I've been saying, I think that it really depends on the person, because like you are building all your stuff open source, right? So then you're not going to have to worry about N8N. Agent Builder, as far as I know, like I think that they are giving you a way to build the agents, but then I don't know if they're charging you for it afterwards. But I also think that right now, if you are trying to build a legitimate project, so do it the way that you just did it, right? Using Python and Flash. I don't think, I mean, Agent Builder maybe, but like, again, like for a lot of it, you'd have to do custom functions anyway. And then, you know, is it just going to limit you and slow you down? And so the AgentKit system right now, and this was sort of similar to when we were looking at, Google had something, I forget what it was called, but it would build you agentic workflows, and you use natural language to do it. And it's like, okay, like it's really just building toys. It's not really building something like where like if you like the project you just showed us to build out. Well, I think it's probably possible to do that through Agent Builder, but like if you look at how complex it would have to be and all the different things it was going to have to do, and then there you guys still have to do a front end and all these different things. It's like, yeah, I mean, you probably are just going to move over to a Python-based solution anyway, right? So, I think that, and this is again like where like who is this for, right? Where it's like if you look at their AgentKit, it's like okay, like there's only a certain level of person who's going to want to build something with AgentKit, and then if they have to get to a point where anything they want to really build, they have to start connecting MCP servers and have to create custom functions. They're going to need to have an LLM help them with that, and then that LLM is better at coding up Python solutions than it is at figuring out how to do things through AgentKit, then they're just going to switch over to that beforehand, right?
So because what I was thinking was like normal, like you want to send a standard email or you want to do a meeting invites, you want to do other like means based on these conditions do. So those all I totally agree, like means agent flows and all those stuff with the workflows, whether you use now GPT also come up with the agent flow, and Microsoft Copilot came now I think Google. So everybody are coming, we can integrate with chatbots, all the N8N or make dot, all those. But if you have very complex, like so much logical task where you have to involve, so I'm just feeling like means it's better to use the way we do, because Python is very good to handle millions of data, but it synthesizes everything it will do on the back end without price, right? Like what your view? That makes sense, right?
And it's really once we're at this stage, it's not they used to have this phrase in when I was working in media, the audio people would say, it's not the gear, it's the engineer, right? They'd always use that phrase. And like part of it was the idea that like, it doesn't matter what gear you're using. If you have a good engineer and they're producing it right and they know what they're doing, then it'll sound good. And I think that this really applies to this. It's not the gear, where it's not Python, it's not N8N, it's not AgentKit, it's not Make, it's none of these things. It is the engineer, it is the person who is coming up with an idea. And like, is that a good idea? And if not, then it doesn't matter what you're building it in.
Correct.
If it is a good idea, then whatever you're most comfortable in, and they all have the ability to probably build out that really good idea, but at a certain point in time, they are going to get very complex, probably. And you are going to need a level of complex problem solving regardless of where you're at, because again, like they can say, oh, N8N is simple, and it is simple, except when you're building something that is really interesting and useful, you are going to have to think out all these different things that, for any of these solutions, you're going to have either, you could get vibe code help, you could find, even before we had vibe coding, like people had code snippets that you were copying and pasting to put into your code anyway. And so really, it's whatever you're best, suited for and whatever works best for you. And there are going to be drawbacks to everything, right? N8N is going to charge you if you go enterprise level and whatever, but it all comes down to the engineer and do you have a good idea? And on that, our time is up. I will see everybody on Thursday, where speaking of N8N, we will demo an N8N workflow. Have a good one, everybody. Try out AgentKit. If anybody comes up with anything fun for AgentKit, bring it to our next call and we'll check it out. Later. Bye.
Thank you.